weeks ago, it was thunder and lightning and mountains and revelation of God. Stuff they make movies out of. Not that you should watch them. And revelation. The next parsha, the one we read last Shabbos, Mishpatim, the rules, what to do about contracts, what to do if your ox wanders into your neighbor's yard and eats his tomatoes. Be careful about that. Make sure that you pay your workers on time. All of those kind of laws. Wow, what an extreme. One is purely spiritual. The next is purely of the mundane and the mercantile. And then comes Parshas Teruma, where we take material items, that whole laundry list of stuff that God requests, and we transform it into a welcoming place. V'osuli mikdash, v'shechanti b'seicha, make for me a sanctuary, and I will dwell amongst them, which is the embodiment not only of the task assigned to the Jews traveling in the wilderness and later under Shlomo HaMelech in the building of the Beis HaMikdash. It is essentially the task of all of the Jewish people to transform this material world, which screams out to identify it purely by its functionality, and rather to expose its innate godliness. We combine the drama of Yisro, the routine and rigidity of Mishpatim, when we have Parshas Teruma. And so we have this tug of war. There is the material, there is the spiritual. They seem to be on parallel tracks. Sometimes they intersect. Hopefully we are able to make sure that the spiritual is dominant and the physical is seen as a mechanism for exposing that spiritual. But can't there just be any physical thing that's purely spiritual? Can we ever have a human moment that's purely spiritual? Or is there always going to be this tug of war? Into this, the Torah introduces this animal called a tachash. What is it? Nobody seems to know. They speculate it's some sort of wild cat that lives in trees. Others speculate that it could even refer to a giraffe, although the tachash is not a kosher animal and there was only one, because it existed for only one purpose, that its skins be used in the Mishkan. So every other material item we encounter, a pencil can write nice things or nasty things. An axe can chop down wood to build a home, or it can chop down another person. Every physical thing is a tug of war except the tachash. What's that in my life? Where is it that I go that is a physical human experience but is purely spiritual? Is that Shabbos? Is that Torah learning? Is that davening? Is that time spent with my family? Where can we make those moments? Not that we avoid the physical. That was 2 weeks ago with thunder and lightning. We can't create that. That God has to initiate. And it's not about the mechanical, because that fixates on the laws of property damage and torts and personal injury and bailments. Where is it that I encounter something physical, but I don't see it as something physical? As far as I'm concerned, I see it exclusively as something spiritual. It has no other purpose than to be in the service of Hashem. That's how I can try to relate to the material world. It's often a struggle, but there are some respites, some safe spaces where that struggle doesn't exist. Is that Shabbos? One of the 7 days, but kind of not? It's a 25-hour respite, but it's not really measured in time. We eat food, but it's not about that because you have cholent on Wednesday, gefilte fish on Sunday. Be strange. Let us make the world bespeak its innate godliness. Instead of seeing it as this competition between the physical and the spiritual, let's evoke the innately spiritual. And in this manner, we will welcome God into this world. We will make him a sanctuary. He will dwell not only in it, but amongst each of us. And that, my friends, is the coming of Mashiach. Good Shabbos.